An update on the Christmas Carnival. A ministry that was implemented by the Minister administration is now defunct, and there is a severe shortage of nurses. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Simonet with your Jcn News for this Tuesday, December 7th. Health officials have yet to make a decision as it relates to the holiday carnival, as there's still outstanding requirements that the committee responsible is waiting for the company to fulfill. This is the latest coming from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville this morning ahead of the weekly cabinet meeting. Those requirements include COVID-19 health and safety requirements like sanitation and COVID testing. Now, this as Carnival employees have informed the media that the government has given them the green light to open this coming Friday. Asked to respond, Dr. Darville says this.
Well, the Ministry of Health is the one who will make the determination of whether an event is safe and the protocols meet the requirements for the ministry. As I speak, that has not happened yet. There's a meeting scheduled for tomorrow. I am under the impression that some of the additional requirements as it relates to how the event will be conducted will be discussed. And the outcomes will directly be related to what those discussions would be from the committee.
According to the minister, there's a set group of requirements that the carnival must meet before getting an approval for an event of this caliber. Tomorrow's meeting is to decide whether it will be safe to hold the event this year. In a statement issued on Friday, health officials indicated that trailers and amusement park equipment were imported into the country. The ministry has no jurisdiction over the importation or exportation of non-medical items into the Bahamas. It also assures the public that if any event poses a threat to public health, the ministry reserves the right to revoke any previous approvals granted for a public event. Well, a ministry that was implemented by the Minister administration is now defunct. This according to the minister responsible this morning ahead of the cabinet meeting. With the details, we go to our Leah Cooper.
The Ministry of Disaster Preparedness and Reconstruction is now defunct, according to the minister responsible, Miles LaRota. This morning, he told reporters that this was because there were three entities basically doing the same thing.
We had NEMA, the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness and Reconstruction, and the Disaster Reconstruction Authority. The Ministry of Disaster Preparedness is now defunct. It's now operating out of the office of the Prime Minister. And so there's still NEMA and the DRA as we deal with disaster preparedness and reconstruction of those islands, mainly Abaco, Grand Bahama, and I think to a lesser extent Ragged Island.
Asked what was discovered since coming to office regarding reconstruction efforts on Abaco and Grand Bahama, Minister LaRota says this.
There's a lot of work left to be done. I've toured all of those sites. In the Abacos, I've been to Marsh Harbor, I've been to Green Turtle Key, I've been to Moores Island, I've been to Hopetown. Grand Bahama, I've toured the East End and also Sweetings Key and the settlements, McLeanstown, Pelican Point, Freetown and High Rock. There is still a lot of work to be done there. There are still, it's fair to say, thousands of individuals who would have applied for assistance, and those assistance range from $2,500 to $10,000. That was the amount that was given out.
In the Abacos, he says Moores Island needs the most help. That island, he adds, has had very little infrastructural work done.
The dock, as I said in my presentation in the House of Assembly, was built with reclaimed wood and reclaimed nails by the fishermen and other members of the community. The airport terminal is not functioning, and so the clinic is dilapidated. I know there was when I was there last, the foundation was already laid for the clinic within a can, but that, in my view, and people who I've spoken to on the ground, seems to be inadequate. And so the residents there of this island, or some 700 people, are left with a dilapidated clinic that's run down, that has leaks and have challenges.
Minister LaRota adds that the government has decided to extend the airport in Moores Island. It also intends to renovate the terminal and deal with the clinic and docks. He says they expect to deal with those in short order. Reporting for Jcn News, I'm Leah Cooper.
A severe shortage of nurses prompting the government to seek out specialty nurses. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville telling reporters on Monday that the Princess Margaret Hospital, the Rand Memorial Hospital, and the Sandilands Rehabilitation Centre collectively is in immediate need of some 30 specialty nurses. He addressed the hospital's urgent need for increased staffing among nurses. Dr. Darville emphasizes that while correcting the nursing shortage is paramount, the government understands the increased global demand for persons with a nursing and specialty nursing skill set. He also notes that recruiters from hospitals all over the world are actively commissioning local nurses to work in other developed countries. Darville sharing that the government is painfully aware of the mass exodus of trained nurses in the country and is actively considering avenues for the retention of these healthcare professionals. Well, it's some 47 nurses that have left the country's healthcare system since the September 16th general elections. This startling information coming from Bahamas Nurse Union President Amantia Williams on Tuesday, responding to the health minister's comments regarding the nursing shortage. The chief nurse telling reporters that nurses are leaving the system for better working conditions and benefits. Now, even before the COVID-19 virus became a global pandemic, there was a shortage of nurses globally and on the home front. The World Health Organization is urging countries to create at least 6 million new nursing jobs by 2030 to offset a projected global shortfall as healthcare workers across the world respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Economic Affairs and Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Michael Halkitis, again defending the government's VAT amendment in the upper chamber yesterday afternoon. He says that while different senators may have different views, everyone wants what's best for the country.
What is going down? VAT going down on thousands upon thousands of items and services, Mr. Vice President. And albeit, yes, those breadbasket and a few other items will no longer be zero rated, but it is our belief that when you take everything in its entirety, that the net effect would be a savings for the Bahamian people. And that is why, a significant savings. That is our belief, and that is why we do what we do.
The Value-Added Tax Amendment Number 2, Bill 2021, will cause for a 10% tax to be added to items that were once tax-free, including butter, cooking oil, mayonnaise, grits, cheese, corned beef, evaporated milk, margarine, rice, flour, bread, tomato paste, baby formula, soups, broth, baby food, condensed milk, fresh milk, baby cereal, canned fish, mustard, powdered detergent, and bathing soap. Mr. Halkitis says that they believe these amendments are currently the best step for the country, and should they not be, the government will review them.
We are proposing these amendments because we think that it would put the government in a better position to deliver what it needs to deliver for the Bahamian people. Our commitment is that particularly with the VAT, increase and target assistance to those who are most vulnerable. And as a government, we listen, and as we go on, if our policies are not working, are not bearing the fruit that we expect them to, then we assess and we make adjustments when necessary. But as it stands, Mr. Deputy, we believe that this is the right thing to do, and that belief is informed by research, study, and experience from other countries.
The 2021 VAT Amendment Bill has been passed and is expected to come into effect in January of 2022. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.